Broken words, beautiful mind. The rain had been falling for hours. Soft, endless, and cold. It tapped against the window of room 27 like an old clock that refused to stop. Inside that small hospital room sat Ethan Hale, a man with tired eyes and too many thoughts. He didn't remember much. At least, not clearly. The nurse said his accident happened 3 months ago, a crash on the highway. But the way she said it, the way she looked at him, there was something behind her words. Something unspoken. Ethan could remember faces, sounds, and colors, but not meanings, not feelings. He remembered a woman's voice, soft, trembling, saying, "Ethan, please stop writing those letters." He didn't know who she was. He didn't know what letter she meant. Every morning, a doctor came in, Dr. Morgan. Kind man, calm voice, always holding a little notebook. "How are we feeling today, Ethan?" "Still foggy," Ethan would reply. "Still waiting for things to make sense." Dr. Morgan smiled. "They will, Ethan, but you have to face what your mind is protecting you from." That sentence haunted him. What your mind is protecting you from. One night, while the rain kept whispering outside, Ethan found a drawer in his bedside table, locked. He tried the handle again and again until, finally, it broke open. Inside was a stack of letters. Dozens of them, folded carefully, sealed with tape, written in his own handwriting. Each one began with the same words. "To the woman I hurt the most." Ethan's heart started pounding. He tore one open. "You were right. My words can kill. I didn't mean to break you, but I did. I used my pain as poetry, and you bled from every line." He stopped reading. His breath shook. The woman's name wasn't there. Only that single, painful sentence. He opened another letter. "You said my stories were beautiful. You didn't know they were all about you." And another. "I told the world our secrets to win their love, but I lost yours forever." Ethan dropped the papers on the floor. His head spun. His chest tightened. He had no memory of writing them, but every word burned like truth. The next morning, Dr. Morgan came as usual. Ethan asked, "Who is she?" "The woman in my letters." The doctor paused. "You don't remember?" Ethan shook his head. "No, but I feel her. Every night, like she's standing in the corner of my mind, waiting." Dr. Morgan closed his notebook and said softly, "Maybe it's time you read the last letter." Ethan frowned. "What last letter?" Dr. Morgan handed him a small, sealed envelope. It looked older than the others. Yellowed edges, wrinkled corners. Ethan opened it slowly. Inside, just one line. "You can't forgive her, Ethan, because she never existed." He froze. "What does that mean?" he asked. Dr. Morgan's voice lowered. "It means the woman you're remembering isn't real. She's a person your mind created, a reflection of your guilt." Ethan's face went pale. "Guilt? For what?" Dr. Morgan walked toward the window. The rain had stopped, but the clouds still hung heavy. "Do you remember your novel?" he asked. Ethan blinked. "My novel? Yes. Broken Words. The book that made you famous." Ethan's heart skipped. He remembered now. The signing events, the interviews, the applause. He had written a story about a woman who falls in love with a writer who slowly destroys her with his lies. It was dark. It was poetic. And it became a masterpiece. But the critics had wondered, how could someone write pain that deep unless he had lived it? Dr. Morgan turned around. "You became obsessed with your own creation. You lived inside that story. You gave her a name, a face, a voice, until she became more real than anyone around you." Ethan whispered. "Her name was Elara." Dr. Morgan nodded slowly. "Yes, Elara, the woman who never existed." Ethan felt his body trembling. "So, I lost my mind." "Not exactly," said the doctor. "You lost your boundaries between art and life. You poured too much of yourself into your story until you forgot what was real. When you finally realized Elara wasn't, your mind couldn't accept it. That's when you crashed your car." The words hit him like cold wind. He remembered now. The empty road, the headlights, his shaking hands gripping the wheel, hearing Alara's voice saying, "You can't erase me." Then nothing. Days passed. Ethan stopped asking questions. He spent hours staring at the rain, feeling half alive, half dreaming. But the letters kept calling him. Every night, he read them again, not to remember, but to understand. Each line showed him something deeper about himself. His pride, his loneliness, his hunger for beauty and pain. He realized that every word he wrote for Alara was really written for himself, to forgive the parts of him he had destroyed. And then, one night, something strange happened. As he sat by the window, a soft voice whispered, "You finally see it, don't you?" He turned, and there she was, Alara, standing in the dim light, wearing the same blue dress he had described in his novel. Her face calm, her eyes endless. Ethan froze. "You're not real." She smiled. "Neither is guilt, Ethan. It's just a story you tell yourself until you believe it." He stepped closer, trembling. "Why can't I let you go?" "Because you love what I represented," she said gently. "Your pain, your art, your control. You thought you could write me away. But I'm the voice that made your words beautiful." Tears filled his eyes. "Then what am I without you?" "Free," she whispered. And just like that, she vanished. A blink, a breath, and she was gone. When the nurses came in the next morning, they found Ethan sitting by the window, calm, writing again. "Feeling better today, Mr. Hale?" one asked. He smiled faintly. "I think I'm learning to write without breaking things." On the table beside him lay a notebook titled Beautiful Mind. The first page read, "This time, the story is real, and it doesn't need a hurt to be beautiful." Weeks later, Ethan walked out of the hospital. The sky was bright, clean. He took a deep breath and smiled for the first time in months. Outside the gate, a woman passed by carrying a blue umbrella. He felt his heart skip, the same color as Alara's dress. But this time, he didn't follow her. He just watched the rain begin again and whispered goodbye. That night, on his desk at home, he placed the letters one last time inside a box and wrote on top, "To the woman who taught me that imagination is not madness, it's mercy." Then he closed it and never opened it again. The lesson: sometimes we fall in love with the pain that makes us feel alive. We mistake suffering for meaning and guilt for truth. But healing begins when we stop romanticizing our wounds and start forgiving the person who created them. Because in the end, every broken word can still belong to a beautiful mind.